Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the program agenda. Thank you for joining us this morning, for putting this time of the day to watch us and be with us. Malaking bagay po sa amin yan, particularly for me, your host, because I know that you are spending precious time just to know the things that we are going to be talking about today. And thank you, of course, for being subscribers of Signal TV, channels 8 and 250 viewers of One News PH. Maraming salamat po. And of course, maraming salamat din to PLDT Home Fiber Optic Internet. Kahit dun po sa Baguio, walang laylay, walang laglag. Okay, so hindi po tayo endorser ng PLDT. But I am the type of person that I show appreciation, I show gratitude for things that work, things that make sense. And today, we will do likewise with our guests because our first guest for this morning is the chairman of the Philippine Red Cross. Ito po ita-time out natin siya sa politika pero malamang at malamang mapupunta rin tayo doon. But today we are featuring first guest, chairman of the Philippine Red Cross and Senate chairman on the Blue Ribbon Committee, Richard Gordon, to talk to us about the Red Cross kasi marami pong nakakaligtaan this past few months. I've had talks with some people who were not fully aware of what the Red Cross does and how different the Philippine Red Cross is from the International Red Cross. So let's get to familiarize ourselves or refresh our understanding or knowledge of the Philippine Red Cross. And after that, we will be speaking to my friend Mark Desales of the Automobile Association of the Philippines. Hindi po ito usapang kotse. This is not because I used to be a car enthusiast. Hindi na po. Retire na po tayo doon. Graduate na tayo. But because it's summer again and many of you will be traveling and although no thanks to the high prices of gasoline and diesel, that may not be totally accurate. However, hindi rin mapigilan. There's no stopping Filipinos from vacationing, going on road trips after 2 years of being under confinement, incarceration, detention because of COVID. But because many of you will be on the road, it pays to know what services the Automobile Association of the Philippines has available para sa inyong mga biyahe because lalo na yung mga hindi ninyo nagamit yung mga sasakyan nyo for the longest time, baka mamaya nyo kamo, itirik kayo niyan, it's good to know what the AAP has for you. Now, before we get into all of that, those of you who no longer have calendars, the day is Thursday, March 10, 2022, and let's go to our daily starter, our word for the day. Don't judge people for the choices they make when you don't know the options they had to choose from. Kasi marami sa atin, and I put myself in that batch also, that sometimes we get too judgy, not choosy. We get too judgy, judgmental, presumptuous. Wow, labo, ba't niya ginawa yun? Or why did he or she make that decision? Why did they resign? Why did they enlist? Blah, blah, blah. But we never really understood or knew what options they had. May pagpipilian ba ako between bad and badder? Or something like that. Okay, so do not, okay, I repeat, don't judge people for the choices they make when you don't know the options they had to choose from. If you feel that someone made a wrong decision, then be closer to, draw closer to them, be there for them, help them, inspire them, and find out. Baka naman you can help improve their options and their decisions. Okay, let's go to the Philippine Star now for today's front page and the news. Here on the 10th of March 2022, the headline, jeepney drivers collect higher fares. Baka po sabihin ninyo na nangwawalang yan na yung mga driver. No. Jeepney drivers have benefited from kind-hearted Filipinos, pasajeros, who pay with 10 peso coins and say, keep the change. Because the base fare for jeepneys is 9 pesos, the most common form of payment is the 10 peso Filipino coin. And a number of riders have decided na keep the change na lang, mamang driver. And I encourage all our viewers, friends, please promote that idea. You know, 1 peso, 2 pesos, it's not going to be the end of the world for you. And I will tell you personal testimony that yung mga maluwag ang palad, yun ang binibiyayaan ni Lord. Those who are generous are refreshed by the Lord. So, at the top of the Philippine Star front page header, Palace orders probe on missing cockfight players. Malacanang True Executive Secretary Medialdea has issued an instruction to the PNP and the PAGCOR to investigate and give a report to Malacanang and the DOJ in 30 days what happened to the missing cockfighters. Good luck on that. It is, but I think the big story that's not being said here is that President Duterte has refused to suspend Sabong in spite of the clamor of many senators. They are still going to go ahead and allow Sabong. Below that, still no Rodi endorsement for president. The president will not be making any endorsement of any candidates unless absolutely necessary. The photo below that is several families of Aitas or indigenous residents of Barangay Planas, Porac, Pampanga, waiting for a presidential campaign group para mapasabi so they could air their grievances or their appeals for more farm-to-market roads. After that, or below that, the Meralco has advised its consumers and the public that we may have to expect, we should expect higher power rates this month of March because of the convergence of unfortunate circumstances. Okay. And the good news is no COVID spike since alert level 1. The DOH has not noticed or recorded any spike in COVID cases for the last week since alert level 1 was announced. Meanwhile, a new president and CEO for the Social Security System has been named. Commissioner Michael Regino has been appointed as the president and CEO of the state-owned firm. And that picture below there is a photo of the Department of Energy inspectors inspecting LPG tanks and stores in Parañaque City to check kung nasa tamang timbang at kalidad, right weights and quality. Today begins the fourth national vaccine campaign, and it will be on for the next 3 days. And the target is 1.8 million people for the March to 10 to 12 vaccination campaign. Meanwhile, Ukraine, the off-site non-resident ambassador of Ukraine to the Philippines, has appealed to the Philippines, Filipino businessmen, businesswomen, and companies stop business dealings with Russia, because every dollar that you send out to Russia in for whatever purpose will directly or indirectly go to funding or supporting Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And last but not the least, the peso has dived down to 51.95 to the dollar, 51 pesos 95 centavos to the dollar at yesterday's exchange rates. Okay, so yan na po yung ating front page. And we will go for a quick quick break here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program Agenda. Thank you for joining us today. And like I said, we are going to refresh, reconnect, and okay now, refresh, reconnect what we know about the Philippine Red Cross. And joining us today is its chairman. Kumbaga, ito po may rebulto na dun sa building ng Philippine Red Cross. Sa tagal niyang nagsilbi sa Red Cross in the good times and even more during the hard times when the Philippines was confronted by the pandemic, by typhoons, earthquakes, etc. Let's welcome Chairman and Senator Richard Dick Gordon. Sir, good morning.
Good morning, Tito. Thank you. You're so right. I don't know. There were more hard times than good times. Volcanoes, floods, earthquakes, everything.
Well,
Yes.
Well, I mean, at the very least, we are still standing strong. The Philippine Red Cross is a respected institution and it has served. And hindi lang naman po sa mga bagyo, sakuna, etc. I know that every month I will always see on Facebook appeals for blood, donation, and people would say, punta kayo kaya sa Red Cross or call out to Senator Richard Gordon. So naging institution din kayo sa pagbibigay ng dugo during really difficult and for emergency cases. But Senator Gordon, just to refresh our minds or what we know about the Red Cross, because most people know of Red Cross now as for vaccination and RT-PCR testing. Sabi ko, hindi lang naman RT-PCR at bakuna yung Red Cross. Could you just share the role or the services of Red Cross for the Filipino people?
Una-una, 51% ng dugo sa Pilipinas supplied pa rin ng Philippine Red Cross. We were the first to start form of blood donation and blood, transfusions, and we have since expanded to all the society. Yesterday, I just inaugurated another groundbreaking ceremony in a building in Butuan, and we're still growing. In fact, we're trying to put up a new blood bank in San Jose del Monte, and there's an awful lot of in Sorsogon, we're having another one. So it's still blood. Blood is a centerpiece of the Red Cross from day one, and we attribute that to Rosa Rosal, certainly to who pioneered it, especially in the early 50s, to Loreto Parasulit, people like my mother's, Mrs. Gordon, who set up blood banks, even though that time it was not. We've now modernized it,
Mhm.
so now we're including texting. Now, apart from that, you're right about the molecular. That's a prima para, first time effort by the Red Cross. Very few Red Cross societies ever went into molecular. But because we had a background on the pandemic in 1917, and many of the Red Cross nurses all over America and Europe were being kidnapped during the pandemic in 1917 and 16. So, naghanda kami dyan. We prepared. In fact, we were prepared even before that. We were prepared even for a nuclear war, just in case we get hit. We had some training for, nuclear fallout or any other things like a major civil war. We do prepare all the time. We play mind games and actually find ways and means to be able to prepare actively for it. And that is why the Red Cross has ratcheted up its volunteer base. We are a volunteer organization.
Mhm.
And we have to train our volunteers, and we have them in every barangay, practically, nominally and practically.
That's
More,
interesting, Senator Gordon, kasi we only think of volunteer blood donors, but we rarely talk about, volunteer Red Cross. What do you call them? Red Cross volunteers or members? Paano ba ang system sa Red Cross?
nagkakasabay niya, pero volunteer is somebody who gives his time, gives his efforts, even gives his money, and so that in case there's a disaster, we call them 143. One leader plus 43 people in every barangay, and they're all connected to an operation center here in Manila, which I did sometime about 2009, if I'm not mistaken. And every time there's a disaster, for example, the other day, I was on my way to Surigao, and I found out through the volunteers that there was a flood in Iligan, and that
Mhm.
they had lost the bridge. So right away, the volunteers swung into action. Food was given immediately, and we were handling the evacuation center, serving everything from hot coffee to psychosocial support.
Mhm.
The Red Cross is really now it's all over the world. And by the way, Chito, we're going to be celebrating our 75th year on April 15th. That's why you see a lot of advertising in preparation for that, because now we have several services. We have disaster services. You were talking about all the disasters. We're in it.
Mhm.
Yesterday, nasa Lano naman yung baha. So again, our volunteers were there, and now I'm very glad that our Muslim communities have very active volunteer bases. Also, they have ambulances. We now have health services, which include, uh, nag-vaccinate, molecular laboratory, and nagpo-polio. We helped eradicate polio again just this year. Bumalik ang polio about 2 or 3 years ago, and Red Cross actively sent its volunteers and its staff to the hinterlands of Mindanao where they were really raging. And now, sabi ng DOH, we had already domesticated it. Not domesticated is the wrong word. We have already put it on retreat
Mhm.
and practically eradicated it. Also, we entered into the field of dialysis. We give free dialysis treatments here in Manila due to the fact that my connections in Japan allowed them to give me 15 seats of dialysis machines, and we gave it to our people for free to the courtesy of people like Ricky Razon, this foundation, even Central Bank helped out, and it's a very, very well functioning
Okay.
dialysis system.
The Red Cross is a recognized, very much respected and appreciated institution in the Philippines, the Philippine Red Cross. The question is it big enough? Because you never seem to run out of problems to address, services to provide. Yan na nga lang, that thing with the dialysis machine. I know that if I gave you 50 dialysis machine this morning, which I cannot, unfortunately. If someone gave you 50, it still won't be enough. Now, how big does the Red Cross really need to be in the Philippines in order for us to say, aba, kami ang model sa buong mundo?
I think that you can bet on it, Sito. You can ask about us in the International Federation. The
Mhm.
Philippine Red Cross has become one of the most respected organizations. It's most active. It's got a huge volunteer base. It's on a wide scheme of things. Like I said, dialysis, disasters, psychosocial support,
Yeah.
medical tenting, camp management. Uh, and now, let me just expand some more. We are in, before we just used to give food relief, no?
Yeah.
Now, because of the prevailing situation, we now have going to 31 food trucks, meaning to say we will serve hot meals on wheels where
Mhm.
they're needed. If there's a evacuation center, we will immediately send hot meals on wheels. It will converge there, and we can give them hot food right away. And it will continue to go on until they leave the evacuation center, and that is the time they will be given boxes of food so that to tide them over when they get back to their homes.
Are
We are
there are there
also
enough are there enough volunteers, or should we carry on campaigning for more? Because you said it's a localized setup, 143 per barangay, and unfortunately I haven't heard of it here, but I'm sure it's somewhere kasi hindi naman ako palatanong. But are there enough volunteers, Red Cross volunteers?
we never have enough. We have a volunteer base of about 2 million right now. We have them in Tawi-Tawi, we have them in Holo. Uh, Ideally, there should be 44 in every barangay.
Yeah.
44 in every barangay. It's just 1 plus 43. Over and above this volunteer base, we have to provide them with logistics. And I was beginning to tell you that part of the logistics includes a backup of about 175 ambulances.
Mm-hmm.
So we have ambulance trained personnel, and we're ratcheting that up. We just got our first batch of robotics. They're actually machines where that will tell you you're not pumping enough, you're not, doing it properly, and that will ratchet up the training. And we have training for first aiders in every chapter, and we have 102 chapters all over the country and
Okay.
growing. So that's how it operates. It operates out of a system of philosophy and what we call humanitarian values. First, we are first a humanitarian organization, sui generis, one of a kind. It's recognized in 192 countries. There can be no Red Cross in the Philippines unless the government allows for a law that recognizes the fundamental principles of humanitarianism. We are independent. We are neutral in conflict, especially. We are impartial. We serve everybody. We are volunteer. We are volunteer based. We have the principle of only one Red Cross society. There cannot be one Red Cross in the country. There only is one, and that's the national headquarters that handles all the branches. You cannot have a Red Crescent here, although we're part of the International Federation and Red Crescent. In
Mm-hmm.
Muslim Mindanao, they wanted the Red Crescent. We said we cannot do that, and we will not be allowed. So that creates a unity in the philosophy and in the actions of the Red Cross. Also, we must also be universal, and that's why we're everywhere. So since that time, Sito, would you believe before we were just a donation receiving country?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just not happy about this because I wish we could do more. we are donating $50,000 to the Ukrainian Red Cross to the International Federation. And we'll probably raise more money within our coffers to try and give Poland, because it's now overwhelmed with over 1.5 million volunteers, plus 500,000 volunteers in Moldova, in other places. This is part of our solidarity. And since that time, the moment I took over, we paid our dues. And since we paid our dues and started donating, we first donated to, of all places, our mother society was the American Red Cross. We were just a chapter of the American Red Cross before the war. We donated to Katrina $25,000, and the highest was Japan, where we raised $2.4 million for the tsunami in Japan.
Okay, Senator, I hope you. Sorry for cutting in, but I don't think many people know that you have to pay a membership fee, or para, is that correct? Is it a membership fee for the International Organization of the Red Cross?
Definitely, because the Federation raises money. We also have support the International Committee of the Red Cross. There are three sectors. The International Committee, which is the one for war. Right now, we are in Ukraine. We are in Syria. We are in everywhere there's a war and conflict. The Red Cross is the go-to organization. The ICRC, the IFRC, and the Syrian Red Crescent, for example. And then we meet together in a convention done every 2 years in Geneva or somewhere else, like Australia. Once upon a time, we hosted it in the Philippines.
Okay, are you required, or is there a voluntary mode or a button to press if, okay, like in Ukraine, you're sending some money, $50,000 if I heard you correctly.
Yes, yes.
And then are you going to be sending teams? Kasi yan na yung pinag-uusapan ngayon. Some of the guys have been saying, pare, kung mamamatay lang din naman ako, lalaban na ako doon sa Ukraine para may isa-isa yung buhay ko. And Americans are doing that, Europeans are doing. But in terms of the Red Cross, will we be sending Filipinos to Ukraine or to Poland?
Again, on the principle of unity, if the Philippine Red Cross if they agree to allow us to send our people there, we will. Again, in Japan, they won't take our volunteers. In Bangladesh, they took our volunteers because they can speak English. In Japan, they're very homophobic. They just want to say Japanese, no? But they also donate over here and they send their volunteers here. We have sent volunteers, for example, in the Ebola-stricken Congo. We had one there. We have we have some in Malaysia. And even Gwen Pang was was the head of the Red Cross in China, North Korea, and was representing the Red Cross in Japan for a while. She's on leave right now. She's back in the Philippines. But the Red Cross draws on its support. We have when I came in, I had other Red Cross societies come in, especially during Yolanda. During Yolanda, we had the American Red Cross here, but they had offices here, part of the Philippine Red Cross. Japanese Red Cross had a representation here, and they all work together. So when we are provided with funds, we are very transparent. They know that the money will be given, and when money is given, we make an accounting of that to the International Federation and to the chapters and the societies that provide us.
What about local donors? Because, okay, you have foreign donors giving funds or supporting the Philippine Red Cross. What about Filipinos or individual Filipinos? Kasi you mentioned Mr. Ricky Razon. Siyempre, bilyonaryo yun. May RSA, si Mr. Ramon Ang, San Miguel. But what about ordinary Filipinos? Are there instances or are there opportunities for them to, hey, I just want to donate to the Red Cross?
They do. In fact, we have membership fees for those who give, and it's a voluntary fee. In fact, even in the schools, they provide membership fee with insurance. Yesterday, I was in Agusan del Sur, and the chapter administrator they were saying, sir, we provided insurance. One of our big backbones here is the school system. They provide, they have a membership fee of 50 pesos, and one died, and they were given coconut fell on the member on his head, and he died. and a snake bit incident occurred, and they were paid by the insurance that was covering the membership fee. That
Mm.
helps us. Uh,
Okay.
there are also voluntary members. You have Mega World, you have SM. There are institutional donors. I started that with the Millennium
Mm.
Membership Fund. Obviously, many of our people would like to donate, but sometimes, you know, like the painting of Andrew White, Lord, I see is so great, but my craft so small. So you have to rely on the big ones to help you. And that is why our molecular laboratory was funded by many, many big companies, uh,
Okay.
including some foreign ones.
Yeah.
So
Senator, clearly, so just to wrap it up, you need more members. There is a
for funds,
membership for Red Cross. And of course, volunteer in every barangay, a 44-man woman team in a Red Cross team, volunteers in every barangay would make it ideal. Now, we'll go for a quick break. And siyempre, hindi ko naman pwedeng palampasin ka na hindi natin pag-usapan yung political aspect ng buhay mo. If you don't mind, we'll just go for a very short break, and then I'll ask for 3 to 5 minutes of your time to update us on the campaign. Kasi mukhang pagod ka, pumapayat ka at mukhang puyat na puyat ka. But we'll go for a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and with us this morning is none other than Senator Richard Gordon, who is also the chairman of the Philippine Red Cross. We've already talked so much about the Philippine Red Cross, so we encourage our viewers, if you are in a barangay, inquire about membership in the Red Cross, being a volunteer of the Red Cross, and support the Red Cross. But for now, having done the Red Cross part, I, as a journalist, need to ask Senator Gordon, how has the campaign been, Senator?
well, just a very quick one. First, I'm a volunteer. I'm not paid. Second, we have already built 151,000 homes in the country
Hmm.
during the time that I've been chairman, and that's unprecedented. We're still building them. In fact, we're inaugurating 167,000 houses in Albay. And we react to everything, and it's a very cogent one because the logistics and the information technology connects us. It's a very, I invite you one day to hold your program at the headquarters so you can see how it works. All works beautifully like a symphony orchestra.
As
The
long
campaign is,
as long as long as you have connectivity, we will be there.
oh, we will have connectivity. In fact,
Okay.
you can even join us when we are on the field. We have satellite communications established.
Okay.
So even if there's no power,
You can count on us now
thank you.
that
We'll
you
do
have
that.
connectivity. Okay, now going back to the campaign, the TUCP, Trade Union Congress of the Philippines, has endorsed you.
Yes.
You have been very visible in multi-party campaigns. Parang mukhang, although you are with the group of Senator Lacson, am I correct?
Yeah, no, they invited me to join them.
Mm-hmm.
No commitments, except do not endorse. That's what they
Okay.
say on public. They have not
Mm-hmm.
told me that in privately. I'm also selected by Manny Pacquiao, who's a very good friend, and
Mm-hmm.
more than that, he believes. He was one of the first ones to sign the committee report on the pharmacy. But yes, but I have not been with any other candidate except Lenny from the very beginning. Only I wear blue.
Mm.
They all were in a sea of pink.
Kasi
It's a very good.
atenista
It's
eh.
been very good. It's been very good.
Sir, kasi atenista eh. Pinaninindigan
No,
talaga
no.
yung blue.
Blue ribbon, blue ribbon.
Okay. 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 So you've been campaigning and you have been going on both ends of the Philippines. Now, what is your concern at the way things are going? Kasi ang daming Pilipino sinasabi, sa sobrang dami, ang hirap ng pumili.
Hindi dapat sabihin ng Pilipino mahirap pumili. Dapat isipin natin yung may liderato, may resulta, at may integrity. Very crucial election. Whoever becomes president or becomes a senator in this country in June or July, they will have a tremendous problem. Even Frank Dillon says it's going to be a perfect storm. The economy is shot. The whole world's economy is shot. It's in crisis. And you better have somebody there who knows international relations, better have somebody who knows the international economic framework, and make sure that the economy performs very well, provide jobs amidst a sea of high prices. So we have to address that. Madali magsabi, bababa natin, o magbibigay tayo ng subsidies. We've been there. Pagka nag-subsidize ka, alam niyo naman, mangyayari dyan. Mag-i-inflation, lalo mahihirapan tayo. But nobody, except me perhaps, and because it's not popular for candidates to say, you have to tighten your belts. Kailangan talaga gamitin nyo ng paraan para makapagtipid kayo at dagdagan nyo yung pagkain sa lamesa. Kung isa lang ang nagtatrabaho, kailangan magdagdag ng trabaho para may pambili. So, the problem that I see is that there's a lot of gimmickry na nangyayari and there's a very, very little analytical data which guys like you should be very welcome to provide, not just in debates but in inquiries like this. You should ask us. Sabi ko nga kahapon, dapat huwag na kami kumandidato. Mamimili na lang yung tao siguro. Hindi pa matitake for granted yung pagpili ng kandidato because pag sinusuyo ang tao, lahat na ng klaseng pambobola, pambibigay, panggigimik ay binibigay. And that's why we've never been able to elect good leaders.
Okay. Now, as far as elections go, in past elections have been decided, pero may mga observations. Sabi nila noon, yung Duterte naging presidente kasi yung mga may kaya hindi pinansin yung mga walang kaya. Same thing with Estrada. Now, ang lumulutang ngayon is Mindanao. And we have many viewers in Mindanao. And there is this concern na pag napabayaan niyang Mindanao, it might be Mindanao who decides to become president, vice president, and senators in 2022.
That may be true, but Luzon, Visayas, there are so many candidates. That's why the electorate must be focused on the right candidate. Hindi ito dapat maging regional. Pag naging regional ito, it's very fractured and divisive. And the common vision, the focus on the shared vision is lost. The exaction of values that are needed as a citizen and as leaders of this country gets lost. And it boils down to gimmickry and regionalism. Sabihin na isa, solid north. Sabihin lang, kami sa Mindanao malaki. Yung mga Muslims, sabihin lang, kami lang magbo-black voting. And even sometimes, even religious groups. That's all fine. But the important thing is the discussion. Do not lose sight that there is a bigger problem there. And it's lost in the hoopla. The circus is in town. And nobody focuses. It's one of my big frustrations all the time during election. In fact, it's the biggest frustration. Now, we cannot even discuss. I think one of the best elections I ever held was when I ran 2 elections, was when I ran for the Constitutional Convention, because there were 23 candidates at that time. And we would go into teach-ins. All the candidates would be asked in school, and we would go in there and talk and discuss. And we found out, hey, hindi ito magbibigay. Ito ay constitutional theory ang gagawin dito. And that was very good. As mayor, napakaganda because konti lang kayong kandidato and you can explicitate on what is needed, not what you can give them, but the vision and the exactment of citizen duty and responsibility and government responsibility is also discussed. Walang nangyayaring ganyan ngayon.
Senator, you mentioned that Frank Drilon was talking about the perfect storm after the elections. Eh mukhang ngayon pa lang we already have the gusty winds, kumbaga people are worried about the high price of fuel. What is your assessment, or what will be the impact of all of this on the Philippines and on the outcome of the elections?
Certainly pag high prices, palagi nagiging issue yan, and many politicians become cowards. They don't wanna tackle it. They don't wanna tell the unadulterated truth that we're in for hard times. And when we're in for hard times, dapat pumili sila ng mga leaders that are going to be able to have integrity, that have proven results, and that can really rally the people to work. Like during the Great Depression, di ba? Nung araw, sinasabi ng presidente bago si Roosevelt, a chicken in every pot. That's downright politics. But when Roosevelt came, sabi niya, the New Deal. And then he had all these agencies na nag-generate ng employment. Not only high prices, pero ang sinasabi ko dyan, pambili. Kaya kailangan talaga i-rally ang tao na magkaroon ng trabaho. Sabi naman sa kami magtatrabaho. Ang lahat ng tao pinipili. Poverty is an absence of choice. So pinipili ng tao, wala choice dito. Millions of our countrymen are abroad already. Doon sila kumukuha. Sila na ang gumagawa ng solusyon na maawak sa patalim, humihiwalay sa tao. Because walang pinibigay ang mga leaders natin dito na alternative. Dapat, number one tayo sa foreign direct investment. Number one yan. Bakit? Kung hindi, magta-tax ka eh. Nang gusto, wala kang pera.
Okay.
So, marami tayong magtatrabaho, meron kang tax base, makakapagtrabaho. Paano mo i-address yung pambili sa gasolina kung mismong tricycle driver, hirap na yun, 100 na lang, 200 na lang, naiuwi. Anong pambibili mo? Tataas pa yung gulay na galing sa probinsya.
Do you support yung declaration of a state of economic calamity? Kasi may mga nag-aalala na pag binuksan niyang ginawa yan, mauubos na yung kung kokonting natitira for campaigning.
I don't favor that. I just want to favor the hard truth na dapat yung bawat pera natin ibigay doon sa pinakahirap. Like the Red Cross, we are not a charitable organization. We give to the most vulnerable. Pag nabigay kami, ang pamilya mo, may nagtatrabaho, wala. Ilang kayo? Meron ba persons with disability? Meron ba senior citizens? Meron ba nagdadala ng pagkain sa pagkainan? That's where we prioritize.
Okay.
Dapat ganyanin tayo. Hindi lahat binibigyan. Dapat trabaho talaga.
Yung sabi mo kanina, Senator, na kaming mga journalists, we should focus on the issue. Don't worry, your day will come. I will focus on the issues with you. But today, I will let you rest first because I know you came home madaling araw na. But because agenda is scheduling a series of interviews for the major candidates, and we will ask you to answer the issues with us. Thank you very much, Senator Richard Gordon.
Tito, thank you. I look forward to the day because you're one of the very, very good journalists in the country that can break down an issue. Thank you very much.
Okay. Maraming salamat po. Yan po, Senator Richard Dick Gordon, and chairman of the Philippine Red Cross. Now we shift gears. We now go to on the road for the road trips because many of you are going on the road. Tatakas ang bakasyon. Let's bring in my friend Mark Desales of the Automobile Association of the Philippines. Mark, good morning to you. Okay, I seem to have a disconnection here. We'll go for a quick gap. We'll reconnect with Mark and we'll find out what are the offerings of the Automobile Association para sa inyong mga biyahe at baka kayo itirik ng inyong sasakyan matagal na hindi nagamit. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, welcome back to the program agenda. And from Red Cross, let's now go to the Automobile Association of the Philippines. We have the Chief Operating Officer of AAP, none other than Mark Desales. Mark, good morning to you. Mark. Okay, I think Mark is unable to hear our connection. Mr. Desales, are you hearing me? I don't think there's an Mark does not have an audio connection, so we'll go. We'll wait for that to be cleared up by our technical. But just so many of you are aware, the Automobile Association of the Philippines, sila po yung may-ari ng mga car carriers, tow trucks, ambulances, mostly we've seen on the NLEX, the SLEX, if I'm not mistaken, and malaking bagay po that you understand their services because we always apply or subscribe to their services because ang system nila, if you are a member, not only will you be given a support that if your car stalls in Metro Manila or in the tollways, they will be there to get you. But membership also gives you a insurance. Kumbaga, may insured na mahihila yung kotse mo, may mekaniko na tutulong sa iyo, but you also have, if I'm not mistaken, an accident insurance provided by AAP. And I do hope we can get that connection because they cover the tollways, and kagandahan po nito, I think one membership gets 2 cars covered. Tumungo ka na lang, Mark, kung tama yung sinasabi ko kasi hindi pa kita nadidinig. I don't know, can we check? Mark, are you there already?
Hi, good morning, Kuya Chito.
Mabuti naman, pumasok ka. Pwede ba, pakilinaw mo na yung mga services ng AAP para doon sa mga biyahe, both in Metro Manila and outside Metro Manila, if possible.
Yeah, Kuya Chito, good morning, no? Pati sa mga viewers natin. As an AAP member, you will be enjoying a worry-free driving. If you're a member, mag-breakdown ng kotse mo somewhere in Metro Manila or even the expressways, you will be towed for free with a limit of 100 kilometers. Then you can register to 2 cars for 1 year. Unfortunately, Kuya Sito, I just would like to inform your televiewers that last March 1, we just turned over the exclusive towing services in NLEX and SETEX to its in-house towing provider, which is the South Bend. After 17 years of servicing the public motoring public, nakakalungkot on AAP's part of losing NLEX, but eventually this will open new doors to AAP members. And then we are already in talks with the new towing service provider to continue yung seamless natin na transition that AAP members still gets to enjoy the worry-free driving inside the North Luzon Expressway and the Subic-Tarlac Expressway.
Okay, now kasi nabanggit ko, Mark, aside from free towing within 100-meter range and 100 kilometer distance, meron kayong kasamang life insurance doon sa towing service. Tsaka magkano? I think the big difference here is magkano because pag pumupunta sila sa non-AAP providers or companies, medyo tinagana sa liig, sinaksak pa sa likod ang presyo.
Yes, Kuya, if you're going to avail of an AAP membership, automatically you get a 200,000 personal accident insurance. Hindi covered yung kotse or yung pinaregister mo sa sakyan sa AAP, no? It's you as being a member of AAP who is covered worth 200,000. And then eventually, as you all as you know, Kuyang, no, AAP also offers insurance policies to its members. So we are one of the lowest nagbibigay ng insurance policies to its members. So you can register your cars with AAP as well.
Okay, so parang ano na kayo, parang concierge or service center na if I want my car registered and I don't want to have to go to the LTO or do it myself, you guys take care of it?
Yes, Kuya. We also do the registration renewal to its members. So pwede po natin gamitin yung ating mobile app which is AAP Go. Pwede po tayo magpa-book doon and then schedule-in po. Pupunta po kayo sa AAP office to have your car stenciled. Then kami na po mag-aasikaso ng inyong renewal registration.
So you have the registration services, you have insurance, life insurance ba yun or accident insurance kamo?
Well, kasama yun doon as a package doon sa in-avail mo membership. Then we also offer life and non-life insurance policies to our members. And then Kuya, meron din tayong AAP Auto Care which caters naman to AAP members. Ito yung ating shop, motor shop sa Aurora Boulevard also. So lahat po tayo doon. We do painting, restoration, mechanical, electrical works. So one-stop shop ang AAP natin, Kuya.
Okay, and may guarantees naman yon kasi alam mo, yan ang malaking issue especially for new car owners, beginners, parang sabi nila, nako, nahaharang kami sa mga kung saan-saan talyer.
Opo, di naman Kuyang, no? Fair naman tayo, of course, and then I personally manage the auto care. As you all know naman Kuyang, medyo car lover tayo, no? In fact, I already restored 2 cars of our board of directors. So isa doon, si Gas Lagman, restore ko yung MX-5 niya. And then recently, yung bago natin presidente, which is Joe Ferreria, restore natin yung kanyang 1997 Nissan Citero. So this is a complete strip down of the car.
So kayang-kaya ninyo in terms of service. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there was before COVID-19, you had a program of AAP travel bang tawag niyo doon? Like parang you would organize a road trip and caravan?
Yes, correct Kuyang. Now we have this AAP travel. So this is a subsidiary of AAP which we caters naman doon sa mga pagta-travel ng ating members. So we are partly DOT accredited travel agency, and then we also do as part of it, as part of the program of the company, we do caravans for AAP members. So umiikot po tayo sa iba't ibang parte ng Pilipinas, and then we coordinate with the LGUs para po ma-showcase natin yung mga spots around the country. So unfortunately, when COVID strikes, we have to temporarily shut down the service, the operations. But eventually now we're already starting. In fact, this month we will be having a caravan in Bulacan. So AAP members can register. We will publish the marketing materials within the week. Hopefully within the week, then we can register po kung gusto natin sumama doon sa ating first Bulacan caravan this month.
Okay, now for those who are interested, how much does a membership to AAP costs and how do they go about it?
Well, the AAP membership costs only for 2,000 pesos plus 12% VAT. So that's practically around 2,400. You can register up to 2 cars. The coverage will be for 1 year. You can visit our website, which is www.aap.org.ph. It's already online. So much easier yung pag pwede maging member ka, or you can visit our Facebook page which is Automobile Association Philippines. That's the official Facebook page of AAP. And then you can also use our AAP Go mobile app available both sa Android and Play Store.
Okay, now baka naman choosy kayo sa mga sasakyan na cover kasi may mga nagsasabi, AAP pang mayaman lang yan eh.
No po yan. Lahat po tinatanggap natin. Number 1 requirement lang po is what we ask for our future members is sana po registered yung ating kotse, no? It's both our mutual protection din kasi as a towing provider and as a member, of course. So para po ma-avoid natin yung mga future inconveniences while towing your car.
At saka mas mura yata yung magpa-insure ka for 1 year, lalo na kung hindi ka kampante sa sasakyan mo, dan mahuli ka. Magkakaano na ba ngayon yung mga multa, yung mga tumitirik dyan sa highway?
Ngayon po yan sa MMDA rates, no? I think it's 1,600 for the 1,500 for the first 4 kilometers. So as we all know, hindi naman po ganun kaganda yung sistema ng towing natin dito sa Metro Manila. So I suggest po talaga, because we have an arrangement with MMDA that if an AAP member breaks down in a major thoroughfare, for example with EDSA, no, they are giving us this time allowance. Basta lang po importante, maitabi po natin yung sasakyan natin kung tumirik, kasi iba pong usapan kapag nakaharang po tayong obstruction. So that's a clear violation po ng ating batas. So pwede po namin pick upin yung AAP member na na-stall po in any major thoroughfares in Metro Manila.
Okay, so there you go, 24/7, 24 hours, 7 days a week, ang emergency road service, roadside service, personal accident insurance, discounts for auto care service, lifestyle partners, and 24/7 home service car care, and LTO renewal, free glass etching, travel assistance, member service vehicle, tapos meron ka pang subscription sa AAP Quarterly Magazine. Okay, thank you very much, Mark. And I hope, paano kayo makokontak? Ano yung pangalan ng website nyo or Facebook?
Okay, Kuya, you can visit our website, www.aap.org.ph. You can visit our official Facebook page, Automobile Association Philippines, or you can use our mobile app, AAP Go, both sa iTunes and Google Play Store. And then you can call our hotline at 723-0808.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mark Desales, COO of Automobile Association of the Philippines. Now, we go to our closing blessing for the week, which is Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 26. For God gives wisdom and knowledge and joy to a man who is good in his sight. But to the sinner, he gives the work of gathering and collecting, that he may give to him who is good before God. Kumbaga, pinaghirapan mo, ibibigay lang ni Lord dun sa mga mahal niya at mga mababait. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching Agenda. Please keep it here on One News PH.
Na. Hayain na muna. Check. Mic check.